Welcome to Football with Cheese. Guess what today is? That's right. Draft day, best weekend of the year. Even got the shirt with the cheese on. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Ready to go. Mock draft time. If you did not see it on Tuesday night, I was on the SportzTruth Podcast. 4 of us did a mock draft. It was so much fun. We laughed a lot. So make sure you check that out. There's some crazy picks. I will link it in the description. Okay, so this obviously is my final mock. This is a projection. This is not what I would do. It's what I think. I have basically 3 ways I pick here. What I'm hearing, what I think they should do based on each team and how they draft. And number 3 is just my gut. And I'm going to try to project the 32 players that will go in the first round as well. So I might take a player that may not be the best fit for a team, but I think he'll go in that range. I'm not going to project trades. So we'll get into it. You'll see. So make sure you are subscribed so you never miss a video. I got one more video coming today. It's going to be basically rumors, whether I believe them or not. So look for that in an hour or two. Okay. Let's get right into this. Alrighty. Okay, Cam Ward. We know it's happening. It's obvious. Number 2, I still think there's a slight chance it's Abdul Carter because it was Carter for the longest time and then it became Hunter the last 2 weeks. I would actually take Carter because I don't think Hunter can play both positions. He's got a thin frame. He's undersized. By year 3 or 4, he's going to have to just pick one position. And wide receiver and zone corner just aren't as impactful as edge. But I'm going to project Hunter here. And the Giants have to take Carter. They're by far the 3 best players in the draft. Well, Ward isn't, but he's a quarterback. 3 best players are Hunter, Carter, and Genty. Okay, so here's the thing with New England. I think Will Campbell would be a huge mistake. They need a left tackle. This would be a major reach. I have Campbell 11 on my board. I think he could be a Pro Bowl guard, but he does not have the wingspan or the length to play left tackle. And he just didn't play like a franchise left tackle this past year. He struggled in some big games. He's just not that plug and play franchise left tackle. But I keep hearing that's the pick. I think there's a possibility the Raiders move from 6 to 4, maybe give up a 3rd round pick to take Gianti, because I think the Jaguars will take Gianti. I believe that rumor. So the Patriots should do that. If they want Will Campbell, they can get him at 6. I don't think the Jaguars would take him at 5. So the Patriots, even if the Raiders offered like a 4th and like a 5th next year, I'd take that. Move down. Don't take Will Campbell here. And even if you're not taking Will Campbell, move down anyway, because you're not taking Gianti. So we'll go Will Campbell here. Gianti to the Jaguars. That's the rumor. I think it's going to happen. The Bears also could move up to 4. They're actually the betting favorites for Gianti. They have 2 second-round picks. They have 3 picks in the top 50, the Bears. So look for them to maybe move up to 4. If I'm the Patriots, though, I'm going to want either both those second-rounders or a 2nd, a 3rd, and maybe a 3rd next year. I'm going to want a lot because that's moving from 4 to 10. That's a big jump. Raiders, they want Gianti. It's obvious. He's a perfect fit. They need a running back maybe as much as anyone in the NFL. I'm hearing, now I would not do this, they love Kelvin Banks Jr. Super high character guy. I just don't think he's a top 20 player in this draft. But he'll play right tackle there. I like him better as a right tackle than left tackle. They have Colton Miller on the left side. Raiders could use some upgrades on the O-line for sure. We've talked about that. Jets. So Armand Membo has been the pick for me all along. He'd be a great fit. They need a right tackle. But I am hearing that Aaron Glenn, the new head coach, defensive guy, really wants to draft an impact defensive player. If that's the case, then maybe Jalen Walker, linebacker / edge from Georgia, another high character player. If someone's a real high character, intangibles off the charts, great locker room guy, I'm going to probably have him going a little higher than most. And obviously if someone has a character issue, I'm going to drop him down. It seems like there are more players that may go first round with character issues than most drafts. Only one, Mike Green, it's about getting arrested, doing something like illegal. Most of them, it's just more, not necessarily the best locker room guy or doesn't love football. But I'm going to knock players down more for injury and age than necessarily character, because it only takes one team to sign off on the character, but a lot of teams' doctors are going to red flag some of these players, like a Josh Simmons, like a Savon Ravel. All right, Carolina. Dream scenario, if you're a Panther fan, Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Michigan. I think he's the fourth best player in this draft. Great value, and it's a need. Saints, so I'm hearing they're going edge. Could be Shamar Stewart. That's what I had all along. But I think they like Mykel Williams even more. Saints are going to be bad this year. Might as well stink and try to get the first pick. Mykel Williams, he's a little raw as a pass rusher, but can help in the run right away. Tremendous length, tremendous size, high upside player. Bears, they could go a number of ways. So I'm hearing they really like Josh Conerly Jr. He's all the way down here at 35. I have him around this range as well, maybe a little higher. So if the Bears do not move up for Genty, I could see them moving back and still drafting Conerly maybe more like in the 15 to 20 range. Or if they don't give up those picks for Genty, they can move back in the first round because they have 3 top 50 picks. So I'm going to go with Tyler Warren. He's the best player on the board. Get Caleb Williams some help. He's an upgrade over Cole Kmet, plus you can play 12 personnel. All right, 49ers. There's so many rumors about the Niners. Some people think they're going edge, defensive tackle. I've heard Walter Nolan's name. There's some character issues there, so I'm not going to draft him this high. And I think the Niners are going to wait and go edge in the second round because there's depth there. Some people think they're not going to go Membu, but they need offensive line help. It's a big weakness, and he's a good run blocker. They like to run the ball. Cowboys, the rumor is they want receiver here. I heard they love Matthew Golden, but the better player is Tedder McMillan, so we're going to go him there. I know the rumor is he might not love football, and he doesn't always play hard, but the talent is unbelievable, and the Cowboys will take a chance on a player like that. Dolphins. Okay. So Kelvin Banks is gone. Armand Membu's gone. They need offensive line. I think this is a trade down. Of all the top 13 picks, I think this is most likely be traded. Let's just say they trade down. And I'm going to go Conerly because I think he's going higher. I think he's going in the top 25. Maybe they move down. I think Deion Jeremiah had him move down to 20. So they could move down and still get Conerly. But the Dolphins need at least 3 new starters on the offensive line. And you've got to keep Tua healthy. Colts, this is a no-brainer if it falls this way. They need a tight end, Colston Loveland. They tried to trade it for Bowers last year, so they don't mind receiving tight end that's not the best blocker. I think the Falcons want Mykel Williams, but he's not there. So we're going to go with Mike Green. He's got the character issues, but he's a really good player. He's a top 15 talent for sure. And the Falcons need pass rush. They have not had a good pass rusher in a decade. Cardinals. I don't even remember if I have the Cardinals. Okay, so I do have Walter Nolan going here because I heard he's going top 20. So we'll go ahead and put him in with the Cardinals. They need defensive tackle help so bad. All right, the Bengals. They could go a number of ways. They need everything on defense. They need offensive line. But I'm going to go Donovan Ezaraku. I think he's a top 20 player in this class. He might not go this high, but love the character, love the prospect, great length. He's already got multiple pass rush moves. This is a dream scenario for the Seahawks. I almost had, I can't even find him. Oh, Gray Zabel, there he is. I almost had Gray Zabel going to the Dolphins at 13. Almost had him going to the Bengals as well, but we're going to put him in for the Seahawks. Seahawks, another team that needs offensive line. A lot of offensive linemen are going in this first round. They might get overdrafted because so many teams need offensive line, and it's not the best class. So look for them to get overdrafted. Buccaneers, they could go a number of ways. There's a rumor they love Matthew Golden, but it's just not the biggest need. They have a really good receiving room. So I'm going to go with Malachi Starks. They need a safety opposite Antoine Winfield Jr. And Todd Bowles, defensive-minded coach. Broncos. Okay. So here's the thing with the Broncos. I just cannot put Omarion Hampton here. Some people think Omarion Hampton's a top 15 player. Some people think he's going to the Cowboys at 12, that he's worth that pick. I just think there's a big drop-off between Genty and the number 2, 3, 4 running backs. I cannot put him here. I just can't. It's the most common player mock to the Broncos. I could see it happening. They really need a running back. I want them to go running back on day 2 or 3. That's the value with the depth. There's going to be 6 or 7 running backs that are going to be absolute studs that go on day 2. So you can wait. Yes, you probably will not get a Mario Hampton if you don't pick him here, but you can get maybe Cam Skadden with Quinshon Judkins in the second round. Travion Henderson. It's such a great running back class. So who do I have them? I don't even remember. Okay. I actually have them taking Golden. Receiver's one of their biggest needs. And they need a slot receiver. Sean Payton likes to get rid of the ball quickly. Golden can get open quickly. He's a great route runner. Okay. Derek Harmon of the Steelers. I do not have Shadur Sanders going here. I think it would be a mistake to take him if you're the Steelers. Cameron Hayward cannot play forever. Derek Harmon's such a good fit for their 3-4 scheme. Chargers. I got him taking Jahdae Barron. It's just too good a player to pass on. Chargers play a lot of dime defense. 6 DBs on the field, and their cornerback room is terrible right now. So they have to address it. They could go edge rusher. They could go defensive tackle. But Jahdae Barron, too good to pass up. Okay, so Green Bay. The rumor is they will take Maxwell Hairston, cornerback Kentucky, if he's there. So much so that Todd McShay and Daniel Jeremiah both mocked him to Green Bay. Both of those guys are very good draft analysts, and they talk to people at the pro days, the combine. So they're hearing that Hairston's going first round. I could be wrong. They could take him. I just don't see them taking another corner that's terrible at tackling. They already have Jair Alexander. He's still on the roster. And they have Carrington Valentine. 2 corners are terrible against the run. Green Bay values defensive backs that are great run stoppers. I do not believe this rumor. It could be true. I'm going Shamar Stewart, edge rusher A&M. He's the type of player they go after. Unbelievable traits, super athletic, needs some development, but they have deep edge rushing group. Not the best group, but it's deep. So he could take a year or 2 to develop. That's just what I think. I don't know if Stewart will be here. He could go as high as 9th to the Saints, maybe even the Panthers at 8, and he could fall this far. He's just unknown because the production wasn't there, but great run defender already. Vikings. I think this is going to be a trade. I'm going to go ahead and put Shadur Sanders here. Vikings aren't taking him, but I do believe someone will trade back in the first round for Sanders. Okay. Texans. A lot of people are going to mock Josh Simmons there. I have had that as well. But I'm going to go Tyler Booker. He might not be the best scheme fit. They like athletic offensive line, but Simmons has that injury and might not be ready to play till November. And the Texans need a starter right away. So we're going to go Booker there. Okay, so the Rams. They need back 7 help. I'm going to go Will Johnson here. He's been injured, but he's a great zone corner. Unbelievable value here. He's terrible at tackling the run game, but a big need for the Rams. If the Rams get Will Johnson, he's healthy. They might be my favorite in the NFC. Not joking. All right. Ravens. Who do I have the Ravens taking? Okay, yeah. Eminwari. You pair him with Kyle Hamilton, probably the most athletic safety group of all time. He's so athletic. That's such a Ravensy pick here. Lions. So most people have this guy going in the second round, but I'm hearing that the Lions want to get a guard early. Donovan Jackson. He's just such a good fit, good run blocker. And the Lions have to keep Goff upright. He struggles when he gets pressure. So I think they're going to go guard early. And they can go defensive line later on. That's where the depth is in this class. Washington. I'm going to go Hairston because I hear he's going the first round. So Washington can use a corner. That would make sense. Bills. I meant to have this guy go way earlier than this. But just the way the board fell. Kenneth Grant. I can't believe he'd last to 30, but the Bills should run to the podium. They could also go corner. Savon Ravel would be a good fit for them, but I'm hearing he's falling in the second round because of the injury, and he's 23 years old. Chiefs, so Josh Simmons could fall to the first round because of the injury, but Chiefs can risk it. They need offensive line help so bad. And Simmons can either start at left guard, he can start at left tackle, he can move Jalen Moore inside. But the Chiefs aren't winning the Super Bowl unless they upgrade the O-line. And you notice I have Jihad Campbell still available. I'm hearing that multiple teams have taken him off the board or moved him way down. He's got a shoulder injury that could affect part of the season. I don't know if he needs surgery, but the last 48 hours, that's what I keep saying, that he is going to fall. So I do not have him in this mock. I could be wrong. Eagles, they could use a pass rusher. Let's go James Pierce Jr. He would go higher than this if it wasn't for character. So much speed off the edge. All right. There it is. My final mock. What do you guys think? Comment down below. What's your favorite pick, least favorite pick? Give it to me. If you hate your team's pick, I want to hear it. Once again, Shadur Sanders is not going to be a Viking. I think that's a trade, but you can't project trades. In about an hour or two, there's going to be a video going over rumors, what I believe, what I don't. And I'll make some bold predictions as well. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell for notification. Like this video. Share this with anyone who loves football that loves the draft. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a second round mock and a recap video. Check these out. One is my mock draft with trades. The other is my top 100 rankings. All right, guys. Draft's almost here. Comment down below. Who's the best player that I did not include in my mock draft? And I will see you guys in the next video.